Good afternoon, good morning. It is the Aggressive Realty Show. My name is Ken Temborski. I'm the owner and broker of Aggressive Realty, and this is Don Elko. Don Elko is the owner of Covenant Abstract. We're going to talk a little bit today on closings. We're going to talk about listings, and we're going to talk about buying a home. Kind of the interest rates, what's going on in that market, the shortage of homes, and we'll go from there. Don, good morning.
Morning, Ken.
I think what we got to do is we both had our shots several weeks ago. We are 3 feet apart, which is the new CDC rules. So I believe we can take these off so the customers and people can hear us better.
Thank you.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
One of the things that I wanted to go on and we'll start off with is cleanliness. The CDC rules, the NAR rules, the PAR rules. National Realtors Association, Pennsylvania area realtors, we have a set of rules that we must go by. When we list your home and we show your home, or we just show your home through the multi-list, we could share that. One of the things is hand sanitizer is the most important. We must sanitize our hands, sanitize the doorknobs, sanitize the lockbox, and all light switches. Also, when people leave, we're supposed to do that. You wipe down the lockbox, you wipe down the doorknobs, you wipe down the light switches. That's things that are touched, even the keys. Okay, so one of the things is very important. Gloves. We wear gloves, we throw the gloves away upon leaving the residence. Next is, as everybody in this world has seen, masks. We have masks that we have to put on and wear. Now, in this case today, as I said, myself, February 24th, had my second shot. Don was around the same time, I believe.
Correct.
So we've had our shots. We are 3 foot apart now. It used to be 6. It is 3. So we could talk a little clearer on what's going on. Also, these are booties. These are booties that go over our shoes. Again, part of the CDC and NAR and PAR rules. One of the things is safety is the most important thing. At Aggressive Realty, we believe in doing the most we can. We have a terrible situation that's been going on over a year now. That year has come and really everybody has really gone through some tough times. But safety is the most important. My agents all do this, even if the house is vacant or occupied. It means so much that they keep your house and the safety of your home in mind first, as well as the customers, the potential buyer. At this point, we're going to talk a little bit more about, let's get into a little bit of what it takes to after you buy a home. When you buy a home, it takes about 45 days, roughly. That's when we schedule the closing. A lot of times with the banks, it sometimes could be a little longer. COVID has caused many delays in different areas. FHAs could have different underwriting delays. We've been seeing a lot of that lately because some people aren't in their office as much. But let's jump over to the closing side. As a seller, you're responsible for 3 things. 3 things only when you sell a home. One is the deed, okay? A deed is done by any attorney or abstract company that does a deed. The seller is responsible for a deed. Generally $150 to $200 on a deed price. The second thing you're responsible for is 1% to the state. You have a 2% transfer, 1% to the state and 1% the buyer pays or the seller. It's split in half and half. The third part is the realtor. The realtor fees come out from the seller, okay? So it's very important to understand them 3 things. Now on the other side, you have the closing, okay? You have closing costs, which I generally say they run between 5 and 6% because you have, basically you have to escrow normally, okay, unless it's a conventional loan. You have to escrow 1 year of taxes ahead, 1 year of property insurance ahead. You also prorate, When you prorate the taxes, the county is from January 1st to December 31st, okay? Then when you get into the school tax is from July 1st to June 30th. So wherever your closing falls, you get that proration back if you're the seller. You get that money back, and a wonderful firm like Covenant Abstract does all them numbers, and they're very efficient. You also, in the state of Pennsylvania, have to have title insurance. Title insurance is where they go back and they check everything, but let's have the pro answer. Don Elko from Covenant Abstract. Don, good morning again.
Morning, Ken.
Can you tell me what title insurance is?
Title insurance is a protection of your property, the title to your property, from the day you purchase it, going back in time.
Okay.
Not to confuse it with, say, homeowner's insurance, which goes from the time you buy it to forward in time.
Okay.
Okay, so there are many things that title insurance protects you against. One of my underwriters, which is First American Title, used to put out a pamphlet, and on that pamphlet it was 70 things that is protected by title insurance.
Nice.
Now, obviously some of those are unusual. Some of them probably will never have to deal with it. But there are things on there that are very common.
An example?
It protects you against, let's say, when our search comes up and maybe a lien has been missed. We would be responsible for that. We would cover that lien. Let's say an old mortgage.
Okay.
One of the most common things we come across is that a mortgage that has already been paid off but has not been satisfied at the courthouse. Because the lenders back in the day used to have their solicitors go to the courthouse, physically take the satisfaction piece up there, and have the mortgage actually stamped in the mortgage book. Because of all the mergers, because of all the buying out of banks and lenders, that's not done anymore. So we must get one of these once a week, where we have to find out, okay, who now owns that mortgage? And we have to track down so we can get a satisfaction piece.
Wow.
We just had one, we must have talked to 4 different lenders and 6 different people within those institutions till we finally
Really?
got. And it took about a month because you don't know, initially you do not know who owns that mortgage.
And title insurance is state regulated.
Correct.
There's a list of prices that it's kind of set up as, correct?
It's regulated by the Pennsylvania Insurance Department. Every title company is supposed to charge the same thing, and it includes 3 things: the closing itself, the title search, and the title policy.
Okay.
There's 2 different types of policies. There's an owner's policy and there's a lender's policy. They call it the loan policy. And there's different prices. Your loan policy would only be for how much you're borrowing.
Okay.
And then the difference would be if you're buying a house for $100,000 and you're borrowing $90,000, that $10,000, and it's minimal. So it's a great deal. Always get an owner's policy.
Always.
Always.
Okay. It's very important. What happens if they sold the house? As you know, in this industry, there's a lot of what they call flipping. There's a lot of redoing. A house could sell within 3 to 6 months. Now, under FHA, it has to stay 6 months unless there's a really predominant reason of a death or something like that. But do they pay the same title insurance again, or is there a possibility of a minimal discount because of redoing it?
No, they will have to pay. If you sold your house to me and you had title insurance and I want to get it, I would have to pay the premium on the purchase price.
And what happens if you sold a house in 3, 6, 8, 9, 10 months? It's the same again
It's
for
the
the new
same
buyer?
thing. There used to be a reissue rate, but that's been done away with by the state.
Okay, that's very important to know because, again, we are here to do and try to save the client as much money as possible. And when you deal with I got to tell you, a very reputable company, you need that. And as he said, sometimes you have delays. And the delays are for future of having no problems. So if we have to get a clearance or a paid off policy so there's no liens, I'm sorry, I said policy with paid off mortgage or equity loan. A lot of times equities have to be closed. People don't realize when they have an equity loan, they have to close that when the property's sold because that's an open lien.
Right.
But they find that out and they tell you, and how far do you go back approximately on average?
60-year title search, sometimes farther.
Really?
Yeah.
So they go back 60 years. So a lot has happened in 60 years. A lot of people don't own their houses 60 years, so you don't even remember some of the stuff. That's why it's very good to use a reputable, very reputable closing company. Don, when we come back, we'll talk about the new place that you had just moved to, which is very, very handy, very easy to get around. It's handicapped accessible, unbelievable location, and he did it for the people to make it much easier. We'll be right back shortly in a couple commercials, and we'll be right back with Don Elko, Ken Temborski, Covenant Abstract, Aggressive Realty. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome back to the Aggressive Realty Show. I have my guest today is Don Elko. Don Elko is the owner of Covenant Abstract. We're going to talk a little bit about, again, his new location. And again, Aggressive Realty, if you're buying or selling, you want to call 570-788-8500. And one of my staff of 17 different agents now is available to help you, talk to you, advise you. Don, welcome. Welcome back.
Ken. Thanks a lot. It's great
Can
to
you
be here.
tell us about your new place? It's very beautiful.
Well, thank you. We used to be in West Hazelton at 32 West Broad Street. We moved to the new building at 128 West 14th Street about 2 months ago. It was formerly Dr. Polishinsky's and Dr. Yamula's office building.
Nice.
It's right by St. Joe's Cemetery, right by Domino's there, and Elevate is across the street.
That was the old Hazel Township School.
Hazel Junior High, I actually went there.
Did you? It's right across the street behind
so I
the
look at
gazebo.
it. Exactly, yep. It's a really nice brick building. I want to thank the doctors for taking very good care of it, and actually for selling it to me. It was Dr. Polishinsky's building. Like you mentioned, it is ADA, plenty of parking. It's right in the center of town. It's very easy to get to. It's a block off of Church Street. It's right between Church and Laurel.
How many staff do you have now, approximately?
I have 5 people.
Including searchers and sub-searchers?
Well, I use 2 independent searchers.
Okay.
But in-house I have 4.
Okay.
And my wife is the technology guru, so she really helps me out with the technology.
And she's the boss.
And she's the boss, absolutely.
Yep.
But I have a great staff. I tell them their job is to make me look good, and they really do. They're tremendous, and you know, as a business owner, the secret to it is hiring very good people, excellent people. I can't say enough about them. They're terrific.
I have done some business with you now for 20 years, probably off and on, and we do a lot with you as a company. And it's almost like a partnership. When you have somebody that good backing you up and checking your work and doing the stuff, and if there's any issues, your people are very efficient. I mean, I can't say nothing bad about any of them. I've never had a bad situation.
Well, I appreciate that. There's a lot of experience there. Angie's there with me 25 years. Tina might be 23. I've lost count. It's our 28th year in business. So we started in August '93 as Abstractors Inc. And then it was sold to First Federal Bank in '98. Then I went out on my own in 2005. So it's been Covenant Abstracts since 2005.
Wow. And you know, one of the things is when you have a bad situation, and you could have a bad situation in finding something that's negative or a lien or a problem. One of the things that Covenant Abstract does, and why you should always request them, is they do everything. They'll get the water bill payoff. They'll get the sewer bill payoff when possible. They have to confirm the taxes, the property taxes, the school taxes, the local taxes. One of the things that very important is also they check, you have to have your occupancy certificate. One of the things that the city has done and some other communities is you must have it. They check that. They don't want to get fined, nor does the real estate agency. They're so efficient that, you know what, even when there's a problem, they'll be there. They put in the extra time. I'll give you an example. And they don't like to do this, but we had a bank have a problem with a closing. Actually, we all showed up for the closing, but they didn't have the total clear to close. They issued it, and then they withdrew it. They are going to open up, especially for the customer, because the customer's coming from Allentown. Actually, it's Monday. And they're going to open up especially and stay there for them till 5:30, till the people can get here from Allentown. Nobody likes to do extra. Nobody likes to go out of their way to do something when you have a regulated schedule, because you're working your people now. Your people work hours and hours, above 40 hours, because they care, and that's the type of company he has. They made an exception to sit with these people at 5:30 at night, which is unheard of in the business. But I want to thank you for that, because these poor people want to get this closed, and you made that exception, which was very nice because of reasons. You got to have the right reasons, because you normally don't do that.
Well, thanks. We're going to accommodate as much as we possibly can. I've done closings Saturday mornings. I've done closings on the hood of a car. Wherever, you know, within reason, we're going to do it. I don't have a problem staying later. I mean, the idea is to get it closed, get the people in their house. Nobody's happy when it doesn't close.
Right.
Nobody's happy. So we just need to make it happen.
Even with sometimes you have problems with roofs, you have problems with this, what happens is you take an escrow. And a lot of times, if the abstract company won't keep the escrow because there's reasons with that money, we'll keep that escrow in our state escrow account, and upon both signatures of somebody saying, okay, I'm okay with the roof, and we get both signatures from the buyer and the seller, we'll pay it. Sometimes I'll talk to Don and ask him, what does he think? In this case, we do have one, and at that time, Don will inform me how we should handle it. Also, I just want to compliment, we have a lot of attorneys that we work with. There's no real tremendous, that I can say anything bad about any attorney. You know, you have multiples. I mean, I could go on and name them. I mean, from Rich Marusak, Connie Farvello, Rob Sinsky, Donnie Karpovich. We work with every attorney, which is very important. Don, you work with many, you have no particular, but you always out there working hard. It's very important that you also have that representation. You don't need it with a gentleman like this and a firm like this. We work together with the attorney on the buying or selling side.
I would encourage anybody that has any questions to definitely consult a lawyer. Absolutely.
Don,
A lot of good attorneys in town.
And it is the buyer's choice where to close, correct?
It is. The buyer gets to choose.
And what is your phone number?
570-459-4777.
And again, when you sell your house, it's your choice. You know, attorneys could do it, Covenant could do it. Go out there and let's do it right. We don't want to have any issues. We don't have any problems, because you don't want to hear something a year or two later. Very important to keep your records, print them off. They'll be emailed to you. Print them off, keep them in a file, whatever you do, but it's very important. I'm Ken Temborski. This is Don Elko from Covenant Abstract. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to the Aggressive Realty Show. I'm Ken Temborski, broker, owner of Aggressive Realty. With my guest, Don Elko. Don Elko is the owner of Covenant Abstract. Don, tell me a little more what you do and how you do it and why you do things.
Well, it's a process, Ken. I mean, the first thing we do is when we get the order is we got to order the title search. And once that comes back, we start to do the processing of doing the title commitment. And if there's a bank involved, we send it out to the lender. We start making our calls. If there's mortgage payoffs, we start getting tax information. We start calling the sewer authority, the water company, garbage. If there are any issues in the search, we want them resolved way before we get to the table. Okay, we shouldn't be doing anything at the table other than signing.
Right.
And shaking hands and congratulating everybody. That's how it should go. It should go super smooth.
How about when you do the deed? You're only allowed to do the deed when you do the title insurance?
Correct. We're only allowed to prepare a deed when we are insuring the property.
Okay.
So if most sellers usually have an attorney do it. Mm-hmm. If they don't and we're insuring it, we can prepare the deed.
Okay.
Yes.
And that works out a lot better because the deed's normally there. They'll email it to you, and it's sitting there when we get there to do a closing.
Correct. Yep.
Good. One thing at Aggressive Realty is looking for homes right now. The market is very dry. The cupboards are bare. When I talk about that, there's normally 1,800 houses on the market from here to Wilkes-Barre to Dallas, Ashley, Shavertown, we're all the way through. Right now there's 360 homes on the market, which means there's a lot of realtors scrambling for numbers and to get listings. At Aggressive Realty, our listings mean the most to us. We take the most care of your property. We do the hardest work to get your house the most money. That's the key to it. Anybody could tell you a number, but they got to tell you a real number. You don't want to have the house sit for 6 months. We go into winter and your house is sitting there. So sometimes our numbers that we do, CMA, comparable market analysis, helps you. It gives you an idea. I recommend you call us, 788-8500. My agents will come out. There's no cost. It's free. We will come out. We'll do a CMA. We'll give you some ideas. We'll tell you what the house needs to make it sellable. Right now is the highest I've ever seen in prices back into 07, 08 when we had the housing boom. We're seeing half doubles go for $100,000. We're seeing houses that, example, I had a house that I listed on Friday in the city of Hazleton. I had 14 showings from the weekend. I listed it Friday. I had 14 showings over the weekend, and it sold for much over asking price. We had 4 offers, and it went. I can only ask you and tell you to call Aggressive Realty soon. You don't have to list it tomorrow, but call us, let us see it, let us give you some numbers. Let's take a look at it and prepare the house right for the right sale to get the top dollar. That's the most important thing. Again, we want to get your house sold. We want to get you the most, but at the same time, we have to be realistic. Realistic means you have to go out and sell it right. We advertise on 17 websites. It will be throughout every website. We pay for positioning to get to the top. Our website's aggressiverealty.com. We have every listing on there. We also advertise in the paper every day. Every day you'll see my agent's pictures. You'll know who you're dealing with. You'll know who's coming to your door. It's very important. Go out and list that property today. If you're selling, if you're looking to buy, call us. Let us get you pre-approved. Let's get ready because the minute the listing comes in, we notify you right away. We'll put you on an automatic system that you get notified when something in your area or something in your price range comes up. Again, so important to get your house listed now. If you want to get the top dollar, you call Aggressive Realty. 570-788-8500. We will spend and advertise what we need to above and beyond. When we deal with good people like Attorney Marusek, who does a lot of my personal stuff, with other attorneys, Attorney Farvello, Attorney Slusser, Attorney Carboy, all the attorneys we work with. But one of the things at Aggressive Realty, we have an attorney that comes and be there for you. So you're not even paying an attorney at that time because it backs us up and checks our paperwork. Again, my name is Ken Temborski, Aggressive Realty, 17 agents to work for you, including complement of one of the best closing companies in the area, besides every attorney in this area. We deal with all the banks, and we can go from there. Don, I want to thank you for your time today.
Thanks for inviting me, Ken.
And let's continue to do the business we do, and you'll find out that you have the best service in the area. Especially, congratulations, your new location across from the old Hazleton High School, or Karate Corner from Domino's Pizza behind the gazebo. I want to thank you again. Ken Temborski, Aggressive Realty, Don Elko, Covenant Abstract. Thank you very much.